Hello and welcome once again to Mondays with Monica. I'm Monica Pierre. Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday. I think it's the 29th. Is it the 29th of June? Yes, I think so. Check my watch here. Yes, 29th of June. our days. But it is a blessed day because it's a blessed moment because we're together. And for those of you joining us for the very first time, what we do here on Mondays with Monica is to basically have a gathering place where we can uplift each other, where we can be inspired by each other, where we know that things are challenging, things are hard, things are difficult, but through it all, what has been placed in our hearts to do, what is our dream, what is our goal, that is so important. And we're going to take a moment to talk about it and figure out things that we can do to move our dreams forward. For those of you joining us for the very first time, we welcome you. We're here every Monday, 7:15 a.m. Central Time. I'm an early bird, and we like to welcome people who have joined us. So we just take a second throughout our broadcast to say hello. Hello, Rosalind. Thank you for joining us. What a beautiful smile. Thank you so much for being with us today and all of you who have joined us. Let's talk a little bit about being comfortable with waiting. Do you find yourself waiting for things to happen when it comes to your dream and your goal and your mission and your purpose, what has been placed in your heart to do? Do you find yourself always doing the waiting dance? Waiting. And you've gotten to the point where you feel somewhat comfortable waiting. It's comfortable. It is familiar. It is what you do a lot of times because we can feel noble when it comes to waiting because we're smart, right? We look at things from all sides, all angles. It's reasonable to wait, it's prudent to wait. In what areas of your life do you find yourself waiting when it comes to your dream, your goal, your mission, what you have been charged to do? Whether or not you're taking action on it, it's still yours to do. Think about that for a second as we welcome Nick. Hi, good morning, Nick. Thank you for joining us, as well as Nadia, Mr. Henry, and Michelle. Good morning to you. Thank you all for being with us. We're talking about waiting. When it comes to waiting, have you thought about how often and in what areas are you waiting? Are you comfortable waiting? Yeah, we can get comfortable. It's familiar. We can get so comfortable because, again, we're waiting for the best time to start, the best possible moment to start. We want to make sure what that all our ducks are in a row, those beautiful little ducks. They're all in a row. And we might want to say, well, I'm going to get to it. I know what I need to do, but I'm going to wait until the virus is over with. I'm going to wait until everybody has a handle on things, that we know what our new normal is going to look like. I'm going to wait. We're going to wait until we have more clarity. Have you ever thought and heard yourself say that? More clarity. And of course, when we don't have any problems, we're going to wait until that's the season to do it. We're going to stay in the camp. We're not going to break camp because we're waiting for more signs, more revelation, more clarity. And we're waiting until we have all of the angles figured out. Why do we wait when we know the desire is there and just won't go away? I mean, it's been years, right? And we're so comfortable waiting and waiting and waiting. We wait because there is some doubt that we won't get it right, some doubt that we'll be wrong. We have a mountain of second guessing from A to Z, and it all seems reasonable. And oftentimes, and maybe this is just me, we wait because it's more comfortable and easy and familiar behind the fence, behind the gate. It's easier and more comfortable with the blinds drawn, and we don't have to venture out. It's more comfortable on the shore than to be out there on the open water, setting sail, knowing that what it is on the other side of where we are. That really becomes comfortable. We're comfortable waiting, and we're so good at it, right? And it ends up being dream zero, doubt 10. Dream zero, doubt 10. We have others who have joined us. We have Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Hello there. Hi there. Also, Marianne and Sheila. Let me tell you something. We're all in this together. And I love calling you out by name, recognizing you, and helping you to feel part of this show. Because again, we're in it together on Mondays with Monica. Again, waiting can be our default setting. So, what is something that you can do and we can do to get going? If we're tired of waiting, no longer want to wait, get beyond waiting, get from behind the fence, get from behind the door, get from behind the gate, open the cage door so you can take some action, some faith based action on your dream. I want to remind you of something that Madam C.J. Walker said, and some of you are familiar with her. I'm such a huge fan. Her story is incredible. Born 2 years after slavery, the only one in her family born free. And of course, it was still poverty. It was still hard. She was still on the plantation. She was still sharecropping. And finally, married at a very early age. She was an orphan at 7, married at 14, had her first, only child at 17, a widow by 20. And she went to St. Louis in that area, and she was a washerwoman. And then she built a business through sheer genius and persistence. And she went from making $1.50 a week to, in today's dollar, she'd be a multi-millionaire. And one of the things that she wanted to do, she has such big visions, she built a mansion on the Hudson. Yes, in New York. Well, the neighbors there going, well, no way, this woman could afford this house that at the time cost $250,000 to build her mansion on the Hudson. And in the New York Times article in 1917, they're interviewing her, and she talked about her story and talked about her journey. And she said, basically, I got my start by giving myself a start. I got my start by giving myself a start. Oh, I don't know about you, but that is so mind-blowing. And it's something we can all do. And giving ourselves a start can look different ways. Perhaps it is starting, actually doing something, going beyond what you put on the page and your vision board to actually taking one step toward it. Perhaps giving yourself a start is saying that I'm going to really work on not overreacting every time something appears to be a setback. Perhaps giving yourself a start today means that you're going to catch yourself beating yourself up. You're going to catch yourself and stop it when it comes to saying, you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough, you're not wise enough, you're not rich enough, you're not whatever enough. That's where you can give yourself a start. There's so many ways that we can give ourselves a start today. Think about it. Think about the areas in which you have been waiting and how you can give yourself a start today. And if I had to insert one word in Madam C.J. Walker's, I got my start by giving myself a start. I got my start by giving myself a new start. Start anew today. Start anew. We always end our time together with a virtual hug, but I'm going to go to the comments and see who's joined us. And Sally Ann, good morning, Sally Ann. How are you today? Thank you for joining us, as well as Deanna and the Empress herself, Empress Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate that. We're giving ourselves a start today. Oh, it means loving ourselves. Yes, that is a start. That is a start. Thank you. And yes, let's just pass on Madam C.J. Walker's quote. I got my start by giving myself a start. And don't you feel powerful when you believe that and take action on that? And let's see, we have Colleen says, ask yourself, am I waiting because you're in need of something to move forward? Or are you just using waiting as an excuse to procrastinate? Ooh. Ouch, Colleen. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is encouraging. And that is what we can do. Give yourself a start today. And that's something you can do. It's time now for a virtual hug. And I've been thinking about the virtual hug and why we don't let it go, even as more and more things are opening up, even as there's been some restarts, some struggles, some sputtering. We are still connected and we can find ways to embrace each other and help us and say, hey, come on. So let's do our virtual hug. And in this virtual hug today, we're going to say to each other, we're going to look each other in the eye as we embrace and say, you give yourself a start today. You give yourself a start today. Whatever it is, no more waiting. No more waiting. You can figure this out. No one's saying that it's going to be simple and easy and stumble free. No one promised us a rose garden, but you give yourself a start today. And you know, we're all in this together. Thank you so much for being with us today. And before we go, we want to say, oh, thank you for your words. Thank you for being here, Marianne, and for spreading. Absolutely. And Michelle says, hugs to you, my dear friend. Thank you for bringing you to the world every day. Thank you. Those who've been following me, I know how much you all know I love and adore Michelle Cullison. She's fantastic. Ebony, kisses too with the hugs. Thank you for that. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much for being with us today. If you'd like to share this video, feel free. Absolutely. I also encourage you, there's some really wise people in this audience. And if you've been sitting and waiting on starting your own show or writing your own blog or doing your own videos, I'm going to say, come on now, give yourself a start. Do it. Absolutely. The world needs a lot of voices that encourage and inspire. And I'm going to challenge you to be more than a commenter, be a creator. You can do it. I'm not saying it's going to be, you won't be nervous or you're going to be worried about lighting. Start. Give yourself a start today. Absolutely. Oh, and Cindy. Oh, Cindy, we love you and all you're doing with ABWA. Thank you so much for being with us. We've also been joined by Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. We thank you so much. And Ebony, confirmation. Yes. Okay. I love that. I love that. I'm going to stop talking because this is supposed to be a short segment. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. And let's see. Sheila says, I need this today. So great. Go out. Give yourself a start today. And thank you so much for joining us. It's been a wonderful Mondays with Monica. And throughout the week, I'll be checking in. So if you want to comment, if you want to send me direct messages, that's fine. I want to know how you're giving yourself a start. Be blessed. Thank you for joining us. And we'll talk very, very soon. Bye-bye.